given life-saving medicine to about 1.5 billion doses, and a number of people have already received training, among them 289,000 plus people with disability, just to get them at par in terms of securing jobs and earning a living. And I'll go to what we really do in trachoma, and under trachoma, let's start with what the condition really is. Welcome. Welcome. We're waiting for you. You still have seats. You can come in. Yes. Yes. Thank you. So allow me to really talk something small about what trachoma is. Trachoma is an eye disease. It is the leading cause of preventable infectious blindness. So that is a mouthful. So what it means is that we have causes for blindness that are either preventable, meaning you can do something about them in time and then you'll prevent blindness. We have others that are not preventable. When we talk about infections, it means that this is caused by a disease from a living organism, something that can really be preventable. And it is a disease that exists now in more than 40 countries as a public health problem. When we talk about trachoma being a public health problem, it means that in that population, we have areas where the disease is above 5% in prevalence. So when it is below 5%, then it is not a public health problem. But when it becomes a public health problem, what that means is that we need a concerted effort, not just from the health system, but
Hi you. Hi my amazing souls. How are you doing? How are you doing? Are you well? Are you blessed? I really trust that you are, that you're doing fantastic. I am. And this is your blissful soul, Katrina WW4 Wajiko. I welcome you and I welcome you back to this exciting YouTube channel for another adventurous and exciting vlog video. See there, ever wondered who are sightsavers and what they do? That's all about them in a nutshell. So this was day 3 of the Global Data Festival Kenya Space Expo and Conference, and me struggling to show you the outfit of the day. It was this beautiful black dress. This one I can go with for dinner. And then I had this jungle green sweater-ish thingy. Oh, and this is day 4. We've entered into day 4, the very last day. All right, how did that happen? I think I overdid day 2. Yeah, because you see now we're in day 4. Last day breakfast.
I would like to call, and maybe to transition to the panelists to save time. Mr. Derek Gigan, you work where space data meets the soil. Yes. You work with smallholder farmers. And so my question to you is, beyond funding and policy statements, what does effective support or innovation actually look like? in an operational environment.
Thank you very much for that question. I was thinking about this question, and with the part of funding, which is very critical, led me to really think in depth of my journey through developing, especially the tooling technology for space technology, and looking at also other players and other startups in the ecosystem. One thing that really becomes important for support is what we call the shared technical infrastructure. Um, you find yourself, and especially for if you're developing technology, you're mainly doing production probably once after every 3 months, or in our case, when we follow the agricultural calendar, so that is once in every 6 months. That means that the machines that we have struggled so much to get are actually lying idle for about 5 months or 10 months every year. But what does this create in terms of the support that we can give startups in this space is that we can have the shared facility. We have seen a lot of food startups and the ecosystem really benefit from Kirby, which has very good infrastructure to enable them to do their food processing. And that is the kind of thing we'll be looking, for example, a farm lab where machines can be shared and technology can be developed jointly. Number two is de-risking the field deployment. We exist in a space where you do not know when you are doing something legal and you do not know when you are doing something illegal, and depending on the violations that you do. And I'll give a case example of people who have seen try to deploy their own helicopters and everything else. And most often you see find they are actually doing something illegal, but looking from it from a perspective of a founder, they're actually doing an experimentation. We have seen a lot of regulations being brought into the drone sector, which was very critical to collect agricultural data, especially on small scale basis. But the process of licensing becomes so it's not as publicized, and again it's as expensive. It was actually very expensive. So critically support in terms of how do we de-risk this field deployment so that the innovators are doing it safely and legally, and they understand how to do these field deployments in a better way. Then looking at it, and especially people around the space industry, we are on the other side of coming out of academia with a lot of deep and science knowledge and trying to see applications out there. And one thing that we face, and I actually really struggled with this for quite some time before I met you, another life where we had to do a lot of business incubation. We need to see how do we offer the technology transfer officers as a service, so that these are people who can interpret the technology, interpret the use cases that these people or innovators are trying to come up with, and what business case that they can fit in. Because at the end of the day, we appreciate the ecosystem that we're in. It is heavily profit driven rather than revenue driven. So however much I have a very good technology or innovation, it only starts making sense if the investors can see the business case. And not many of us are really blessed to be scientists and innovators and also businessmen. So that becomes a very critical support. We have seen that happening with the Chandaria Business Incubation Center, what actually back then we were doing really becomes important. Number four, and my last point for now, we support business to scale deep and not really to scale fast. And we have seen this, and we get a lot of pressure, especially within ourselves, because you really haven't exhausted the Kenyan market, and a lot of people have not really known your technology, but you're kind of forced to start spreading to the East Africa zone, West Africa zone. So it becomes so you start undoing the great thing that you have already begun. You start spreading yourself so thin. You start being forced to look for more and more funds. without really creating an impact at where we are at. So the support to encourage our startups to scale deep rather than to scale fast and out, it's really important so that we can translate the impact that they're trying to create and also create very good case studies. Thank you.
I finally get a moment to show you the outfit of the day. And yes, anytime I removed my sweater or jacket on the other days, people are like, where exactly are you going after here? Are you sure you're coming here? Like, I'm so used to hearing these comments, but I'm just a girl, a Taurus, God's favorite. I love looking good. I love smelling amazing, And I can say I have great taste. Yeah, so I really was looking. Mm, 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 mm. And the makeup game is coming along swiftly. Yeah, so this is the inclusion pavilion by Site Savers. That is what I was showing you. And then I got to see this. Do you want me to call on the Lord to come back? You'll be misbehaving so much, It was by there's the team that was doing music and entertainment. You saw that in, I think, day 2. So they were using this and it was fascinating for me. And it's
Second. How long have you been? How long has the Kenya Space Agency been in operation?
Ilikuwa established around 2017, 2016, thereabouts.
But then, Kenya, why do we need like satellites? Unajua, we see from movies, it's like countries zenye huenda vita and such things are the ones who need those things, blah blah blah.
The satellite inategemea each country kuna their own reasons for launching satellites. So now, like for us, kuna reason ya Earth observation, is looking at Kenya from the space. Kuna predict landslides using the satellites. Kuangalia deforestation, like satellites can go back. You can go back in time. Kuangalia since 1960 na sahi ST imekuwa aje, utaona it was very forested. Sahi ni ma buildings.
You can do that?
Yes.
That's nice.
So it helps also in predictive in climate activities. Depending on when sasa wamesema kuna El Nino by November. So they can actually look to the future and see tutakuwa na rains El Nino. Hiyo wamesema 90%. Now that falls under Earth observation and space weather. So now it will help us or Kenya or as the government now to plan prior.